Yeah.
So development, there will be some development tools will be there like SVN and TFS as well as Git. Probably we are using only Git. We start from the Git, the tool. So these are all the starting for DevOps. So development team, and so it will be combination of, as we know, the combination of development and the operations. So these are coming to this development. After the development done, so there will be the deployment. So for the deployment also we use some tools like Maven.
Yeah. Before deployment, you missed one stage. Can
So
someone,
there will be testing.
anyone else having an idea? Build.
Building.
Yeah.
Build.
Build stage.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So,
building stage, I missed that.
okay.
So build will be done with the tool, help tool from the Maven and Docker also.
Yeah, you're going good. Go ahead.
Then we will start testing what actually we have done, and we went to testing. If the testing successful, then we went to uh, deployment stage again, right?
Correct.
So there will be the process like we will test on the development, then it will be moved to stage, and then we move to production. So from the moment of this deployment, the start, the portion will be the operations team will take care of the deployment things, right?
Basically, the DevOps team only takes care of deployment. Operations team will take care of only monitoring and operations. Operations mean once it is delivered to the customer, whatever customer is facing, any issues, any problems, operations team will
Okay.
support. Operations team is like mostly working with the customer to understand what is the day-to-day problem they have. Is there any security issues coming up? Is there any performance issue coming up? Any other critical problems reported? Like that, they will be working with the customers. There will be some support team. There will be a SRE team. Like that, multiple people will be there. Especially support team is part of operations.
Okay. Okay. So after testing, we sorry. So deployment will be done after the testing completed. I'm just confused.
So basically, after deployment only testing comes. So testing comes
Okay.
at every phase. See, as soon as the code is developed, he will be doing a unit testing. That's a different testing, right? Then there'll be a round of
Yes.
integration testing. That is again done between modules because one module, say probably login module is independent on the registration module. Say payment module
Hmm.
is dependent on your payment options, payment gateway. So many different things, right? So any application, if you take minimum of 2 to 3 modules will be there. That testing is done in the integration testing. That is before even creating a build. After creating the build, there
Okay.
will be Sonar Cube. Sonar Cube will do a source code analysis.
Hmm. Okay.
And then finally, once a build is ready, it will be deployed into the environment and
Environment.
QA people will do the testing, actual testing. So after deployment, only testing happens. After testing only, we make sure the product is ready to be delivered to the customer. That is what is the whole intent, right? I mean, we don't want to have any problems after releasing it to the customer. We never want to see
Yes.
any bugs after releasing it to the customer. Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
So, so then we will start. So after the deployment, so there will be tools for the deployment also like Docker, and then we need the feedback like we use the monitoring tools to check the process is correct or not. Then based on the feedback, we will start again. The if anything else, we start again from the coding.
Correct. Very good. Srini, thanks. So, uh, when we talk about monitoring, there are different tools that we can use. Uh, Meantime, just have a quick discussion between you guys. Any other discussion? I'll share my screen from the other device. I'll start explaining few things. Meantime, Ganesh, Anudeep, or Vikas, you guys can initiate some discussion on the monitoring side. Anything you have doubts, anything? Anudeep, anything from you?
Yeah, Shankar. From my side, for monitoring, I have seen the graph, the picture you have given us. I can see the Grafana and the Prometheus we're gonna use for monitoring how the code is working in the live and like the live
Uh,
environment
One
when we
question for
deploy the
you.
code.
One question for you. What is the fundamental thing required for monitoring? How we can do monitoring? Anything, even if your mobile phone, your computer, or the server running in a cloud. What is the basic fundamental thing required to monitor?
Fundamental thing means
Anyone
like
can answer. I mean, if
we
another,
need an application. Like the main thing is we need an application to monitor
okay,
anything,
sure, definitely, I understand. Application is required, but
right?
apart from that,
Anything.
what exactly
So
you
there will be logs, right?
logs? Okay, logs is one of the factor. Then,
So there will be if it is on premises, there will be some logs like event years or something
okay, that is okay.
Think
based
the
on the application.
data, Shankar.
Data. See, data is very much important. Data is another way it is called as in another way it is called as
Information
okay, information is okay, but in terms of monitoring, it is called as
memory.
metrics.
gods. Yeah. The
Okay,
terms we are missing.
metrics.
Yeah.
Metrics is the most important thing for monitoring. Okay, what is the next important thing after metrics? Threshold. Why threshold? Say, for example, say you are very hungry. Can you start eating like 100 kgs of maybe whatever you like, or 10 plates of whatever you like? Guys, please mute yourself. I think Anudeep and Vikas are in the same place. If you guys are at the same session, same place, one of you guys, please mute and then put it zero volume. The other one unmute and then speak.
Yes, yes, Shankar, sorry.
Okay. So, for example, definitely there is a threshold for everything. Say, for example, you are keep running and you feel like very energetic. You can run maybe 2 kilometers, 3 kilometers. At the stretch, if you run 10 kilometers, you'll definitely fall down, right? Like that, there is a threshold for everything. You cannot really keep doing things at a stretch. Similarly, any application which is running on your server can run up to some extent. If the application is being stressed continuously, we saw it right after 80%, 90%, the system itself is not behaving correctly. System itself started hanging, right? Do you guys remember that?
Yes, when you use a stress command, so it will.
Yeah, you started feeling that as I'm unable to log in. it is not responding. Like that, there is definitely a point where it will stop working. That is what is called a threshold. But can you wait until that point? No, right? You have to actually take action before it reaches threshold. That is why we looked at threshold, we looked at metrics, we looked at what are the actions that we need to do. How do we notify people? What are the different actions we can do? Either stop, start, restart, or shut down, or maybe auto scaling to increase the number of instances. So this one, is it clear to everybody?
Thank you.
Okay. Because if you are clear with this, then it is a bit easier for me to go with the next class. Anyways, in any case, I'm going to share my screen and explain few things once again, and hardly it will take about maybe another 10-15 minutes. We'll see everything. Any other questions or concerns?
Recording in progress.
No question, sir.
Okay. You guys can hear me, right, from this device?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll be going ahead and sharing the screen. We have another 15 minutes to go. In that, I'll try to explain. Then we'll connect and then explain few things. Is my screen visible?
Yes, Shankar.
Okay. See, in the DevOps tool chain, I'll just create this one, copy of this. Okay. See, like we discussed, the first stage is planning in DevOps, where developer start writing the code. It's like developers will be assigned with the different modules or different features. So multiple developers working on a module, and then everything will go through one tool, that is Git. Git is a tool which is used for source code management, collaboration, and things like that. So here itself, we started using Git. So once a plan is ready, so you start writing the code. That is, I mean, multiple different modules that you start writing. You use Git as a tool in order to maintain your code base. Once the code is ready, all the modules are integrated. What you do next is you use Maven or Gradle or Docker to create a build out of it. Build is nothing but a package or application that can be deployed. It is mostly tagged with some particular version so that it can be released, deployed, and released. Deploy is all about installation, configuration, and other parameters that we need to do. So before even deploy, we should have infra, right? You cannot really do any deployment without infra. Within whatever needs to be created, that we use Terraform. And again, this goes through different stages and then different environment. Anybody has doubts on this?
Good, Shankar.
Okay. So before even going for deploy, maybe at the time of coding itself, coding happens, or at the time of building happens, we usually think about infrastructure creation, and we start writing the infrastructure code, and then create the necessary infra available, and then ready for the application deployment. Once the application is deployed, we test it and release it to the customer. I mean, this deployment is only on the local. Then we release a product to be deployed in the production environment. That is why I say production here. And once it is deployed in production, kind of it is automatically released to the customer. So once it is released to the customer is trying to use that particular system. That is what is called operate. They operate it, operations team, they monitor it. So this is very important. When we say monitoring, we only configure monitoring. We don't actually monitor the resources on a regular basis. That is operations team responsibility, to continuously monitor the system and understand whether CPU is fine, memory is fine, disk space is enough, whether the response time is okay, security things are okay, performance is okay, everything they look at it. Then we kind of get a feedback, or maybe we try to incorporate more features, then go back to the development once again, and then continue doing this operations. On the left hand side, it is called CI, because we are trying to mostly continuously integrate the code changes and then create a build out of it. The next stage is all about deploy it continuously deliver it, continuously deploy it, and then operate it. So on the right hand side, it is called CD. So that is why DevOps is called CI/CD. Everybody will say definitely DevOps means CI/CD, continuous integration and continuous deployment. So, okay, any doubts so far? I'm trying to cover the fundamentals because you must be very confident with respect to the fundamentals before we look into the monitoring. Okay, any doubts?
No, Shankar.
Because Srini,
No, Shankar, it's clear.
Anudeep. Okay, Anudeep exactly answered. Okay. Srini, Kushal, Ganesh.
No, Shankar.
Yes, Shankar, okay.
Okay, fine. So with respect to our mobile device, I'm just giving some example. What are the different things that we do monitoring? Always look at the battery usage, whether the battery capacity is reducing very fast or battery is kept for a long time, how the storage is getting filled, how much storage is filled. We usually keep a track of how much of utilization is done, right? Similarly, the same thing goes for your battery also. How much battery is lost, how much battery is filled. Memory. So RAM, we look at the available memory of the phone, so that phone can behave better performance wise. So response time, it is actually connected to all of these, this one, storage and memory at least. Because if a storage is reasonably available and the memory is reasonably available, the response time will be better. Okay. Any doubts on this? Okay. I'm moving on. Metrics, I already spoke about it. Metrics is nothing but data that we are trying to collect, and without data collection or without data analysis, you cannot really monitor the system. Say, for example, your phone does not give you how much is the battery, right? You will definitely go mad. Your phone will automatically shut down after some time. How do you understand? Your battery is so much, battery is available so much? So data is very important, and that data being stored or data being analyzed is another important thing. So hope you have a clarity on this. All these logs again, it's all about what is the operation happening, whether the user is logging in or user is failed, or is somebody doing a hack on the system, is somebody trying to download all the files. So some information must be always printed in the logs, so that we understand exactly what errors are coming up, like 502, 503, 504, 404, like that. There are some error messages that keeps coming in your web server or application server. So based on this number, you can understand whether the application is behaving correctly or not. So we'll have monitoring for even these error numbers. So threshold, we talked about it. Threshold is very important because we have to closely identify what point exactly the system is behaving bad, what point the system is going down. All of those things you need to understand. That is based on threshold value only. This is a percentage here. If you are running multiple servers, say 4 servers you require always, means it will be a count. The count should always be equal or greater than 4. So like that you can do a monitoring. If it is about CPU, memory, like that, it is about 80% or 70% percentage. If you're monitoring something like, say, response time less than 2 milliseconds, so this is again some number. The point should always be less than 2 milliseconds. Your response time should be always less than 2 milliseconds. So we also talked about why SNS is required. SNS is nothing but simple notification service. Simple notification service will notify you about your incidents or your problems by email, SMS, a phone call, like that. You can get it. There's a tool called PagerDuty. Using that, you can get all the alarms, alerts, all other incident calls. Then we looked at how do we do auto scaling based on auto scaling groups. Auto scaling group contains minimum, decide, and maximum. So this also you should understand what is a minimum, what is a decide, what is a maximum. Minimum is it will never go below this. It will never go below this. Maximum, it will never go above this. Decide always kept as per the system requirement. If the system requires more amount of more number of EC2 instances, then decide is actually increasing, but it never increases more than the maximum, and it never decreases less than the minimum. Okay, any doubts? Any other clarifications required?
Good, Shankar.
Okay, I hope everybody is clear on this. I'll probably give a minute of pause. If you guys have any doubts, please ask me. What exactly is required to configure an auto scaling group? For auto scaling group, what is required at a minimum? You guys remember? Launch template.
Yes, launch template, Shankar.
Launch template, and then in the launch template, instance type, AMI ID, security group, your key pair. It is at a minimum, and then your networking details. And what does they require? Minimum count, decide count, maximum count, and then you require load balancer, and then you also require auto scaling policies. So these are the important things to create an auto-scaling book. This is a vertical scaling. If you really logically think about it, is it a vertical scaling or horizontal scaling?
So where did the SNS come into picture in the auto scaling?
SNS, after you hit a threshold,
Okay.
hit a threshold, you have to notify something, right? That's when SNS comes into picture. So it's all about alarm and auto scaling, before auto scaling. Okay.
Okay.
So can you answer this question? Okay. What did I ask? I just forgot.
Is it a horizontal or vertical?
Horizontal or vertical scaling?
Yeah.
What is this vertical scaling? Okay. Logically speaking, it's a vertical scaling because you are trying to add more servers like this one, right? It is called as maybe CPU, right? I mean, normally you have a CPU at home, right? Normal desktop. So like that, we are trying to add more servers. That is why it is called vertical scaling. But in terms of cloud, if you really think about it, they are just adding more instances, just like that racks. Or maybe in the rack, they are just assigning some space for you. So it can be called as horizontal scaling also. But logically speaking, you are adding more servers. That is why it is called vertical scaling. You can convince the person in any ways, but you should be confident about what is vertical scaling, what is a horizontal scaling. Sure, I would like to end the call right now. We'll connect after 10 minutes. Be connected on the same call. I mean, be connect to make sure you connect on the same call. For now,
Okay, sir.
yeah, I'll disconnect. Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye.